Hello, welcome to our conversation. A spring artist and novel member and talented artist is Fleur Spolidor. Please help me with your last name. I'm really bad with the name. I apologize.
No problem.
As her name suggested, Flower, she's our spring artist. Fleur, welcome to our conversation.
Thank you. It's very nice to see you this morning.
Nice to see you too. Thank you for bringing flowers and spring to our conversation. All right, let's start a conversation with asking you about yourself, about your background as an artist, how you started and what you're doing, what type of art you're making. I appreciate if you briefly explain and talk about your background.
Okay. So I'm from France. I'm from Paris.
Wow.
Um,
Art is in your blood somehow.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just born that way.
Yeah.
I studied art history at the university in France.
Okay.
Contemporary art was my, specialty. And then I moved to the US and decided that I wanted to be an artist and not an art historian.
Okay.
And so I started working, like I was in San Francisco for 20 years. And
As an artist?
as just living there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, as an artist, okay.
That's my job. Yeah, that's what I do. So I paint and I teach.
Okay. Are you painting or
I teach painting. Yeah, when I was still in France, when I was still studying art history, I was teaching art history in different schools and at the university.
Okay.
And then when I moved to the US, I didn't speak English, so I had to learn. And I started teaching art classes in French.
Wow. All right. That's awesome. I'm art historian too, so we have a lot in common.
So, and it was, that was exactly that. It was, using art history as the base for, teaching art classes and also teaching French at the same time. So all my students wanted to learn art and French.
Yeah, at the same time. That's good. I mean, because I see this storytelling and more narrative type of art in your work. So that's because you have art history background.
Yes.
Most likely.
Yes, that's the way I proceed. Like when each painting starts with research.
Okay, I see. Is that one of your work and your background?
Yes.
Display like that's beautiful.
So
like Alice in a Wonderland or something.
So yeah, so that was my first real. When you're an artist, I mean, you find so many things interesting, and as an art historian, also you keep looking at the other artist artwork, and
Yeah, I understand. And then
so many things are just amazing, and you're like, oh, I want to, work with that or work with
yeah.
it.
So you want to try different things. So that's that's interesting.
Techniques and motif and I don't know, like subject matter, like everything is so interesting. How do you pick between a still life or like a view of a forest? I mean, everything could look amazing. Many artists are working on so many different things, and so I realized that I was very interested in because I was not from San Francisco and I'm not from New York either. So for me, it always starts with research because I'm trying to understand the world around me, trying to understand the culture. I'm trying to understand also just because I want to, be able to talk to people and understand what they are.
Yeah.
What they want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. To understand, to know the culture.
Yeah.
So that's all about, like, knowing the history. So
when you live in a country, I mean, you live there because you're interested. You don't, it usually you pick a country because it appeals to you.
exactly.
Even if you're flying, like trying to get away from a bad situation, you're gonna go to a place where you think you're gonna be safe, welcome. It was, I'm from France, so I was not, escaping anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, France itself, it's the center of art.
Yeah, France
The
is.
artists just moved there to be around art and artists. So you were just seeking different opportunity and different environment,
Yeah, it was just my husband is American, and so we, and he's from California, so we lived in California for a very long time before moving, to New York.
Yeah.
And so when I was learning English, the funny thing is that my first English class was not an English class. It was how to survive an earthquake.
Okay. Living makes sense. Living in California.
As a new immigrant in California, that's the first thing they want you to know about, that there are earthquakes there.
Yeah.
And how do you react to that? So you have to, um,
I understand. That's funny.
and so and make a backpack of emergency stuff, like if you have drinking water.
You at least learn with the most important word in English. If something happen, you can survive. At the same time, you improve your English. So those are part of learning.
Yeah. You need to learn, like, I don't know, 911 and so,
That's interesting. Are these magazine cover here from?
yeah, they're from newspapers. They're from
newspapers.
And so that's how it started, like, learning about earthquakes in California, and then researching the history. And so first I painted about, the history in San Francisco and earthquakes and fires and all of that. And then I started, working on women's, like, not women's rights, but women in society. Like, something because I'm a woman and I'm in a society that I don't know. So I'm researching it. And as soon as you start researching, you find those, strange situations where women are always ending up, like, it just and as an artist, they it's normal, they talk to me, so I'm always researching images, and when I find an image that is just so incredible, like, I'm thinking someone, like a woman having her bathing suit measured.
Yeah, and so it's talk to you, right? That's a story for you.
So I start digging into the history of it, and then I paint on the subject, and I'm trying to make it, my own. How can I make it even more clear for people, the injustice of it? Or, and so in this one, the bathing suit is turning into the body of, the birth of Venus.
Yes.
By Botticelli, and a very famous painting. And so she's wearing, like, her bathing suit is being measured, because if it's too short, she's gonna have to go change. Like, you cannot show your body, but the bathing suit is revealing and hiding at the same time, and asking the question, why are women always being measured? Like, why are we always being
subject of, like, criticizing, and subject of critic?
Like, so society's rules are always changing for women, and they always have to adapt. And, each time you gain a right, you lose a right. I mean, it's just doesn't, it just doesn't make
Yeah,
it.
it's true in our society. I mean, it's not only our society, everywhere they have some rule and regulation, which is you see women are in the center of it. Either, I mean, today time, you see the society getting better and women have more freedom today as we speak, compared to probably 20th century, which is everything was pinpoint and measure, as you call it, women being measured. So very interesting. So this is also another one part of that.
So yeah, so the whole series is it's what I'm working on right now. It's about women's rights, different type of situations where women are, have been or still are judged and and had to adapt and so this one is I like to watch the Daily Show, and one of the subject was about swimming pools in America, and it started the whole series about women bathing suits, swimming pools, pinups, trying to find how to present different rights that we are trying to keep or that we are losing. And this one is about the fact that there was segregation at a period of time, at the beginning, in the 19th century or before that, there were a lot of swimming pools in New York, for example, and they were for men only. And they were white and black men would go there and bath, because that was a way to get, it was a public bath, like you would get clean there. And women would just, clean themselves in their kitchen. We have very famous paintings of women, washing themselves in a little container in their kitchen. It's part of, it's a very classical painting theme. Like if you go to Musée d'Orsay or you see, it's and it was a way for, because you needed to be, women needs to hide. So, but what happened is women wanted to have access to the swimming pools, the public pools, because it's way more pleasant than to be stuck in your kitchen, to bath yourself in a small, tiny, with a sponge bath kind of. And so, but the thing is, as soon as women started to ask to have access to the swimming pools, and segregation happened. Like you couldn't have people of different colors, women and men, bathing together.
And I see, also for the swimming suit, the way you create and design swimming suit are based on different artwork. Is there a connection between that?
Yeah, so this one in particular is when you, as an art, when I was studying art history at the university, they would show us, Mondrian as one of the modernists, like one of the artists, that was the more modern of his time. But it was at the same time that, that swimming segregation or segregation in general was happening. And so in my mind that there is like something
connection between these two.
Yeah, because it's opposites. Like how can you have something that is so not modern as segregation, and at the same time something as and I'm using not modern because I'm in context of modernist, like art, of course, segregation is more than that, more than not just not modern. But it's so you study art and you study those artists that are trying to represent modernity, the age of modernity in their paintings, and at the same time you have social inequalities that are so
old and is still sticking to, yeah. I see, like, I see the connection now, the cap and the swimming pool, swimming suit, and being contemporary and modern, and this is a still old fashioned, right? Not letting women. Is this new series you're working, or these are the old one?
No, they're completely new. They're like I started a year ago.
Okay.
So my goal is to create 12.
Okay.
With the idea of, like the calendar with 12, one per month.
Okay.
So, replacing the, sexy pinup with, strong women who are, fighting to make society go forward.
Okay. Are these all, you have a model, or how you do the painting, how you choose the subject?
I work from photos.
Okay.
And I just transform the photo. Like, there are a bit of a, so in some case, so for, for this famous, swimmer manual, I just use a picture of her, but I changed her bathing suit.
Okay. Okay, I understand. Okay. So the same thing with this, probably you have something in your mind and you just incorporate the photo. Okay.
Yeah, it's a mix between, so I know which rights I want to work on, and I'm looking images that would fit, or I come across a picture and it's like, oh yeah, that's, of course I need to use that. So yeah. It's in between. It things intersect, like things
get. So they connected somehow.
Yes,
with the subject you want. And
yeah, exactly. I have my research in, I have my subject matter in mind, and all my research.
Yeah, I understand. It makes complete. So this is still part of the same.
It's all so this one is about pink tax, and it's the fact that, for women, there are some, like, they're trying to change that now because it was just so, and not just, but like everything that was pink, like, like pink in a way that everything that's made for women is more expensive. Okay. But, like, for example, like silly things like, I painted like a pink, balloon in there. Like you would go to the store and the blue one, exact same thing. The only difference.
You're right.
Would be less expensive. Or like, a blue bicycle for kid and a pink bicycle, and honestly they're exactly the same maker, same shape, everything the same, and the pink one is more expensive.
Yeah, I'm glad, like, how you come to these ideas, and that means you're really detail oriented, you look.
Yeah, exactly. That's trying to find all those little details, look for, like, perfumes, shampoos, like all of the things we're using. And also that society put that weight on us. Like, we don't have a choice. There is that, and some women are trying to fight that. There's that expectation that we have to look a certain way. Exactly. And we have to smell good. We have to shave. Our hair needs to look good. We need, and so we spend a lot of money on that. And because things are more expensive for women, then we spend more money. And at the same time, we know about the pay gap, like the fact that men are paid more than women for the same job. So we make less money, but we are expected to spend more in hair, perfumes and stuff.
Yeah, make really sense. Thank you for putting these things together. It's like really, like, I myself as a woman, you're right. When you think about it, now that you painted and you mention it, you said you're right. So by highlighting this, it's kind of a reminder to us, right? You, at the same time, as an art historian and artist, you're teaching, how we've been, I don't know, taking advantage, right? Taking advantage of women. Like, okay, so women colors, like, pink, which is more feminine color compared to the blue, and how we have to pay more, right? As a woman, we work and we get less. You're right. But when we want to buy something, we have to pay more just because it's more feminine.
Yeah, and they did a lot of research on it. Like they even like they want us, they will tell us women will only pay, like they only buy things when it's more expensive because that thing is more expensive. It makes us think that it's better. Like the product is better because it's more expensive.
Yeah.
There's a whole, I don't know, but they, you know, it's really hard to put things apart and really understand why would we buy them, you know, the more expensive perfume, like thinking that the ingredients are better, so it's better for us. But either like, is there really a reason, you know, it's really hard to take this thing apart and really understand the mechanism behind it.
Yeah.
Because also there is, you know, all the weight of, all those ads, you know, all those that we listen all the time, and they're making us choose, you know, one thing over another, and it's really hard to know where our freedom of choice is.
Exactly.
So it's complicated. It's you know, and all my paintings are about. I don't give, you know, I have no solution. I don't have, you know, I'm not bringing any.
You don't need to have solution by, you know, doing this.
Just reflecting.
You're teaching, you're telling, you know, you opening some mind. So that's a solution. What you do is a solution, you know, speak up, you know, explain things for people, make it clear, visualizing, right? As an artist, an art historian, you know, visualizing has more effect than word, right? Or telling people, when people see, they understand it. That's why visual art actually came to be, just for people to understand. So this is solution to me, Laura. This is a solution. And I understand, this is very actually interesting, this painting. What you see, there is hand, what is this cup? Just for me to understand. I know this is part of series, but.
So the painting is the milkmaid, like the famous painting, you know, with like, and so it's with breastfeeding. And so breastfeeding is still a very complicated matter. I mean, it's something so natural. I mean, it's something that, you know, it's how we feed babies.
Yeah.
But our body is made to do. And you know, it's, but breast have been so sexualized in because of, you know, same thing ads and, you know, a bunch of things, you know, so now you don't see breast as, you know,
the source of nourishing, right? That's a nourishing. Without that, the kids won't survive. So,
and it can be, you know, it can be both. It can be, you know, sexual, and it can be about food for
life-giving. Yeah, life-giving.
And so, but so it puts those women in situations where they have to hide themselves to feed their babies, and you know, and also there is that whole culture that, okay, you know, it's just not. It needs more education to remind people that it's a good way for the baby. Like it's
that's the best nutrition, right? For the baby.
Powdered milk is also an option when you want it.
Yeah.
But, you know, and you can use both. I mean, there is no exclusion of anything, but it's just not fair that women who want to breastfeed, you know, have such a hard time. And even if, you know, in the work environment, they're trying to do a better job at, you know, having a room where the mom
can go and feeding. Yeah, I mean, and this is like actually a blessing God give us, you know, as a women, to nourish our family, nourish our kids, to make a healthier kids. I mean, as you said, there are other options, but this is a natural way, you know. But and they make it so difficult, which is almost.
It just, you know, when you're stressed out, you cannot produce milk. Like when you are working all day at the office, and even the office is not maybe the best place to be to, you know, breastfeed or express your milk. Even if there is a room to do that, how do you gonna do that with your coworkers? Like being like, okay, so now I need to go in the private room. You know, sorry, I that meeting. I mean, the thing is not organized. A society is not organized this way. But at the same time, you have, you know, when you have a baby, you have to go back to work really fast. Like it's.
Yeah, I understand. Just like, I'm really pleased that you visualize all this, as you said, to creating solutions. So this is all part of the same set. I just want to, I know you have beautiful work, which I was really glad to also show your website really quickly, if it's okay. Because I just want everyone to know, this is the new series you're working and you're so eager to share the solution actually you came up to speak up. But Fleur, the flower of spring, also make other art form, which I was really interesting to see. Like, for example, this home series, which is, I think it's kind of collage, right? Or painting.
It's it's digital. It's on my
digital.
a digital sketch, color. And I was working on that during COVID. When we were all stuck at home. I was living in Amsterdam during COVID, and so that's why most of them are Dutch architecture.
Okay.
And because the houses over there are just amazing. And so I was just, painting our life, turning women into houses, because that's we were just one with our homes. Like, we were not living it, like we were living in it. We could not leave them. So that was my way of dealing with that.
Very interesting to see how, like, everything been kind of connected together. And I think I have a video. So this is the new series you're working right now?
So it's so that's the technique I'm using to so each of my paintings starts with that. Like, all the women you've seen, like every painting that I do on canvas starts with a background of recycled materials that I glue together, and then I add some modeling paste on it, and I do stencils, and then I paint over it, trying to make the texture show.
Okay.
And so the idea is, I like the fact that it's very, very textured, because when I paint my, these women, the idea is the background shows, through the painting, through the the colors, and so it makes the skin of my woman very, very rough.
Okay.
And like, because I really we are I think we are the the result of our environment, and our environment is not soft. It's hard on us. It marks, it marks our skin. We have scars. We have, we aging. We have wrinkles. We are the result of our time on the planet, and whatever happens to us. And so the idea is that the background, which is our environment, shows through the layers of the character, the person I'm painting.
Yeah. So that means environment is part of us. We are part of this environment. So you want to create this connection. We are human and kind of adopt with our environment, if I'm understanding correctly.
We are the result of our environment, and it goes, like in the art, like the classical, way, like when you look at the work of, I don't know, Leonardo da Vinci or things like that. So when you look at the work of Leonardo da Vinci, you see how smooth the painting is. Like, it's lying to us, like it's giving its perfect. Like, the idea is to give its image of perfection. Like, they have absolutely no wrinkle.
Yeah.
and the background is completely smooth.
Yeah.
And so it's the idea that it was creating that window of a world, like, that was trying to copy, the way they were thinking of the world during that time.
Yeah.
And but I want to, I want my paintings to not agree with that. I want my paintings to show that the environment is not perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
And we become what we are from that imperfection, and that's what's interesting about it.
Yeah. So since our time almost it's over, and we just spent so much time. This is interesting series of your work. I just want to scan through it, and I think you have again video, and this is all about climate change, I believe.
Yeah,
And
this is about global warming and
global warming.
the water rising.
Yeah, so you have a one here, which is if you get a chance and you can just explain it.
I'm just having fun imagining our life underwater.
Okay.
Like it's so I take pictures of, so I used to live in the Upper East Side. I was close to that Alice in Wonderland sculpture, and so I'm just I took a picture of it. I'm placing it underwater with fish and imagining what there are always a lot of tourists looking at it, and so I eventually place a little girl who's looking at the sculpture, and she's wearing some kind of a bubble on her head. Like a breathing system, because we're all, if we don't do anything about climate change, it might change.
Yeah, it changed our environment. It affect everyone.
So this situation is, freaking me out, like I'm sure a lot of other people are. And so, but as an artist, I'm trying to just, imagining a situation, just thinking of the situation in a, with images and trying to let go of my worries.
Yeah, your fear, again, creating a solution as an art historian. So we see what you do here too. You're creating a solution. You make it part of the environment, right? Which is how we wish it become or it was.
Hopefully we won't have to, live with bubbles on our head.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Very interesting, Fleur. Thank you very much. I think you really create solution as you desire, as you thinking what you do, you thinking about solution. So I think artwork and visualizing make this solution, help people to understand it. And this is what you're trying to do. So thank you very much. Our time is really short, I know. And if you want to reach out to Fleur, she has a beautiful website, as I showed, and Instagram, and she had more of her artwork. And as always, if you want to reach out to Nova, you can email us at Nova as well. Thank you very much, Fleur. Do you have any last word before we end our conversation?
Just thank you for doing that series. It's super interesting to watch the videos, see what the other artists are doing. I know you started that during COVID.
Yes, we started during COVID.
That was a great idea to
the whole idea was to connect. We were, as you paint one series, we were inside our home, kind of prison within our home. So that was the only way to connect with each other.
Yeah, and it's great you keep doing that now that COVID is kind of over. It's wonderful that you keep working on that series with all the artists. It's very interesting. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you for being part of it, and welcome to Nova. I really appreciate it. Keep creating solution, I should say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.